What is the identity property in math? Well, really, there are two of them. One is for addition, and one is for multiplication. Okay? The identity property of addition means if you have any number, so I'm going to say like 12, okay, but any number plus 0 equals itself. Okay, for example, 12 plus 0 equals 12. The identity property of multiplication is any number, for example, 4, times 1 will be itself. Okay, any number times 1 equals itself. Now, just looking at these, you may think, why would you need to know these? The reason is because they're used all the time. This right here, the identity property of addition, this shows up whenever you're solving equations. And over here, the identity property of multiplication, this is very helpful when you're simplifying fractions. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one here, right? If you had something like x plus 8 equals 3, and you wanted to solve for x, well, we would subtract 8 from both sides. Right? Subtract 8 from the left, subtract 8 from the right. Over here, a positive 8 minus 8, that equals 0. So our next step, we could say x plus 8 minus 8, that's x plus 0. Or if you wanted to, you could say x minus 0, that would be fine. Then equals 3 minus 8 is a negative 5. And this right here, remember, the identity property of addition says any number plus 0 equals itself. So we can get rid of the plus 0. And we just know that x in this equation, x equals negative 5. So this right here, going from this step to this step, that's the property of addition, identity property of addition. All right, and let's also look at an example of the identity property of multiplication. So say you had this fraction here. How about 25 over 70? Okay. If we had this fraction and we wanted to simplify it, let's see, what is the greatest common factor between 25 and 70? What's their greatest common factor? Well, that would be 5. Okay, greatest common factor is 5. So to simplify this fraction, let's divide the top and the bottom by 5 over 5. 5 over 5, what is that? Well, any number over itself is equal to 1. Correct? So we said any number times 1 equals itself, and any number divided by 1 equals itself. So this right here, 5 over 5, this is 1. So we're doing 25 over 70 divided by 1. Okay, so let's actually simplify. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 70 divided by 5 is a 5 goes once. We have a 2, 20, 5 goes to 24 times. There we go. 25 over 70 divided by 1 equals 5 over 14. We know that 25 over 70 is equivalent to 5 over 14 because of the identity property of multiplication. Okay, in this case we're dividing, but same thing. Any number times 1 is itself, and then any number divided by 1 is itself. Okay, so these two fractions are equivalent.